So where is the screen? Let's see here. Seems to be available. Yes, okay. Hello little folks, welcome and welcome back to Pxy-VERSE. So, as we continue here, I'm building a scene for a small storyline, like a little story for 3D webcomics, later 3D animation. It's the same universe, Neosyn 5, which is sci-fi, and I have those cartoonish, cute anime style characters, something like that, a mix, and they come from 2D drawing already, style that I've been working on 2D for more than 10 years by now. But before that I used to draw manga or something in direction of the manga school, but I was never really good. But I was influenced by older artists, like older mangaka like Rumiko Takahashi, the 90s, 80s gold age, anyways. But then of course I've got tired I got tired of manga is too realistic, right? And I liked some stylization, some more simplification of stuff, because even before manga I already animated as a kid and make comics with stick figures but they were more organic stick figures, and so they were something like this. Yeah, as I could make entire flip books with these guys and but I didn't know how to draw like more realistically, and that ended up getting me super frustrated when I went to a course with young people just like me at my age, like 13, 14 years old kids, maybe 15 at most. And then I've realized that most of my fellows there, most of them, they were really good artists while I was still doing just those organic stick figures. Probably I was the only animator there. But those flip books, many artists start early with that, right? Sometimes with paint software, digital software, which has some digital animation features, so kids can. So I drew even before that pixel art in animated, simple stuff, but like inspired by games and stuff like that. Anyways, so long story short, now I'm into this 3D world building stuff, and I have a background of animation in general, animation filmmaking, but now animation filmmaking for a single person is too hard. It's possible, but it's too hard, and so I'm starting slowly. So instead of rushing towards 3D animation, I'm gonna rush towards this project 3D webcomics. So it's way less complicated for me because I want to create a storytelling workflow, and for this I need a proposition that is not as heavy as 3D animation to start with. I had a great experience doing 2D webcomics in the past, like just as a hobby, and just sketch stuff, but that was really good. And I believe if I can get it for if I get the pre-production assets adequate, I can storytell this in 3D webcomics very well, and I want to publish them. We'll see, either in a page, either as YouTube videos, which is bizarre, but imagine some sort of webcomics with some pacing, soundtrack, maybe voiceover at some point, not text and balloons or subtitles, but we'll see. I am very interested in the voiceover thing for 3D animation, and but that of course usually requires some payment, and I don't have much resource now to start it. Okay, so here I have a big problem, is that I'm using EV, and then I have Workbench. But you see the materials of the walls, of the ceiling, they have nothing to do with here. Of course, these are affected by lighting, so I need to assess, I think those are metallic materials. So I need to do some compositing here of EV plus Workbench, in which the Workbench result it's sort of working okay for the character, because I was doing that combination, compositing before on a separated scene, on the scene where Dorothy, this character, exists. Here she's just linked. But I needed to, so you see, it's a library overridden linked collection, right? So this is how we get those things. I can go directly, if I click here, I can return to the original file. So this is a great workflow for the scenes. Actually, this is what we must, where is it, item, yeah. So I could access that scene, but here the materials are not combining well, because I'm still building this scene, right? So it's all mess. Compositing is complicated, right? It's cool, but it's complicated sometimes. And here, let's get, so I've just realized, I've been realizing something very important, and it is that I need, while using the asset library system, asset browser, and having a directory on my system, operational system that holds the asset library for this project, New Scene 5, I need not to be reusing materials from blend files, because whenever we assetize something, you see I have some duplicates here. I thought I have cleaned up, but I think I know what's happening here, is that I have multiple scenes assetized already. You see they are, like, for example, in this file we have something like this dark corridors is assetized, I'm calling like that, so it's marked as asset just from this scene, right? But something here is using some materials. I think though are the assets that I've imported here, so they, and no, if they are imported as asset, they shouldn't be here. So unless, yeah, so I don't know why those things are duplicated, but this is what I'm trying to avoid. This is probably not something about this file, it's yeah, so I need to clean up this from the whole project, the whole direct. So this is not something for now, but I must be aware that whichever creation materials that I'm making in this scene, working on in this scene and not from linking, I need to make them different. I need to make singularize them and then assetize them. So this is a good thing to be doing now, because I have a serious problem here right now, which is that the material, the shading is working very well for EV render engine, but it's working very badly for the Workbench when I want to combine. Look at those colors, they're completely different. Here you see it's okay, so this asset here is working fine, right? But not these other things. So I'm gonna, and this is slightly complicated, but I have a little experience with that already. So we're gonna get the shading, and we're gonna see what's going on with those materials. Alright, so first of all, let's see what is this. So this is some sort of material dark, metal dark. Okay, what is this? It's just a diffuse thing like that, and of course it has no color. And the problem is that workbench needs color, right? Otherwise it doesn't know what to use. It will use maybe this color, yeah, possibly. And so this is very bad. Let's see. Let's go back to layout, and let's go back to so you see immediately. So yeah, so this would be a simple way to solve this thing, but it's very crude, right? But it helps, right? I already fixed most of the problems for that huge gap that exists color wise, right? But the question is that if I had a texture for that, we could do better. Also, because I'm doing the dual compositing, which is not gonna work here, I can still do something here of interest for this thing, which would be to go in the viewport display and do changes here. You see, this is not totally dark. This is really very, there's really not too much difference here, right? But there is something. So what I'm going to do here is that, first of all, I'm gonna change this material here. How do I duplicate that? No, that's not the way to go. Okay, we create one here. I hate this system. So dark metal, dark here. Okay. So what I'm gonna do here is that we're gonna okay, never mind. Let's create a new material here because I don't want to use this metal dark. I want to do some sort of a wall rocky. This is what I've planned for this, and we can do some procedural stuff, but the procedural stuff will not immediately work for Workbench. So this is something that I'm aware of already, and I want to see if I can create some workflow combination that will make them, at least the Workbench when it's procedural, because I want to use the procedural for EV sometimes, I want to sort of bypass Workbench and ignore it. I think it is possible, or mixing it in some way that the color, the image texture, or the viewport display thing of Workbench won't interfere to it, all combine smoothly. I think it is possible. We could even use transparency sometimes, like for glasses. I know that works, because glass doesn't work for Workbench, but if we have a transparent material for the alpha, right, if you have a transparent image for the viewport display of the Workbench material, then it just avoids entirely, so it becomes a transparent thing. I have a highlight on this technique on my YouTube channel, on the texture highlight rendering collection of highlights. Alright, but it's very interesting. It helps a lot here, but it's not what I need here. Having a transparent material from Workbench can be dangerous, because then the Workbench will I'll be rendering what is right. The face will be transparent. I'll see behind it. So it's just for glass when we really want transparency, some sort of transparency. So it doesn't work for everything, unfortunately. I need the wall to exist to, right? So, okay, I've got this, and here we're gonna, because we're gonna make new materials, so this rock, I don't want metallic, I want some roughness. This will be arbitrary, and I'm not sure about the materials yet, so let's get some. Yeah, I was thinking something like that, right? So RGB, the red, green, there's more green than, yeah, slightly something like that. Then we gonna copy this. We're gonna go to shade. Actually, let's apply already this, and we're gonna get now for the this stuff here, we're gonna paste this here. I'm not sure I'm gonna use principal BSDF, so let's get some, that could be a cool rocky, so I want some sort of, you know, layered schist, I don't know how they or anything alien actually. So for the idea, of course I will need the UVs. I need to know the UVs for this thing. Let's see, it's not showing, right? Let's, okay, there's some UV, there's a big face, but I think I can ignore for now because I'm still working on this yeah. So here what we can get, texture, yeah, so we got like, we could get brick text, no, it's not exactly brick, I need something like, yeah, I can try some brick texture but very deformed. So let's do a Control T here from UV. I'm gonna wait, I've generated, okay, then this color of course is not good. I'm gonna get it here, this is getting here, let's reconnect. Then we're going to get this here, color, yeah, so you want to get the maybe generated for now, nothing happens, object, no, so yeah, let's skip the UV, and we need some rotation, but let's rotate from here, right? That's more likely. Then we are going to mortar, we're gonna get some, we can change these colors, right? And scale, okay, so here we can start playing with yeah, so I want to sort of squash this thing. So you can make something very diminutive here. and we can start sort of, what is this squash? Okay, this is this thing. That's the reset here. Let's try this. Okay, let's keep. Alright, let's keep this one on the middle. And now we're gonna get the more stuff here. This scale doesn't rotation. Okay, of course, because we need to get this. I've connected it in the yeah, this is better. There are some columns. It's not too bad, but this is interesting. And this we don't. Oh, one here. So just playing with those. I don't want this to sound too complicated, right? We can get this diagonal here. I think this is a geology is like that. Usually we get some right, it's like tilted, right? The layers are tilted. Sometimes it's because we have a large wave bend rock layer that is, or yeah, that is very kilometer wise long, and we just see, oh, there's the curvature of the wave. We don't see it's too large. Or sometimes it's just a tilted plane. Okay, so lots of things happen in the. So here we got this, and I don't like it is going in opposite directions, and I can help in this case because of the mirror modifier. I think this is not possible to avoid. This is also cool, but it's not what I need. So I think I'll keep this. The worst case scenario, I can just apply the mirror modifier, but it's not super cool. Okay, let's leave it at that. Then there is one more thing that, okay, the roughness, just to maintain some, you can paste it here, right? This value. You can copy this here, why not? Could be the same value. Or we could simplify this. No, let's copy here from there, that's fine. I don't want metallic in this. Because I'm not sure this requires this kind of stuff. Maybe a little more roughness. There we go. Then I'm not for the bump map here, although it's possible, right? if we get it'll make the material heavier, so, and this is what I'm trying to avoid in these stylized things, but yeah, so if you get some, it's on the height, right, for some reason. And yeah, we get some, it's not very clear. Yeah, this is not helping, so no, never mind. So there is the idea of distorting this, and for that I'm not sure how I'm gonna do this, but let's say a wave texture. It's not about mixing, I need to wave this entire mapping thing, and this is a bit more complicated, like it's not wavelength, it's there's also another Gabor texture, which so it has a vector. Can I? What about the wave texture? No. Vector. Can I? Plug this. Yeah, so I can map the so instead of using this one, right? Of course, it's not. Yeah, it's maybe it's not the Gabor textures. The wave texture will be better. But then I'm not sure if I can do the vector thing. It's already tilted, right? Okay, sign, then scale. Okay, so that is the thing. So you have a bricks texture or something like that that is being I have a bricks texture that is actually inside a wave texture. What if I, which is the problem is that we don't really see the the brick pattern. I would like to see if there's I think now we are able to see the so if I and where are the vertical maybe it's this. I don't know, let's make a new one. It's not working. Okay, so nothing is working for this. No, it's UV, alright. So we need the, what's the default? Okay, so okay, so nothing here. Then we get most scale. Okay, it's not this scale. Then we have more mortar, 0.01. Then we have bias. No, it's not, doesn't seem to be this. Then we have brick width. Could be this one. Like everything is becoming yeah, so no, it could be because I'm getting those distortions, right? Those could be because there's something here is the way, yeah, the wave texture is completely turning into a one-directional thing. Yeah, so but we got this, so this is not terrible. And This is interesting. Alright, so what we do with this, we can already accept this. We're gonna turn into an asset. So assetize this directly here, mark as asset, but it's not cleared. We need to see how this will interact. Okay, so this color will make everything brighter if it is combined in Workbench. So also, if I'm not satisfied with the generic colors here, we can just use a hue and try to see if there's I'm tempted with slightly colder color, right? Maybe a little less saturated, and why not darker? Yes, this seems good. Yes, this is a nice thing. So colored stuff right before the shader stuff. And there's the roughness map. No, I don't need the roughness map. Well, we could use a roughness map. What would be this, right? So I could get just a color ramp. No, a color ramp, and I'm not sure this is the correct way to do it. Here we have contamination, right? Because it's color. So what does that mean here? Everything that is dark would have zero roughness, so it will be more reflective, and the rest not reflective, right? So with this, I don't want this thing. Oh yeah, I was just looking. Okay. Linear is fine. So yeah, roughness map could become in handy. Yeah. So the dark, some dark are more for some reason more. We can make some intermediate, but that will be too much, right? So for now, this is cool enough for walls. Then we can also get, why not, all this into same. What's happening here? It's the UVs, okay. And yeah, we can also get this material here, just actually smaller. Yeah, they won't actually fit very well. Alright, I was forgetting about, yes, so I need to check what that does to compositing, because we can't see the dual compositing here. Viewport compositor setup not fully supported, so we need to look, or either, yeah, we need to render yeah, so the workbench is creating these bad results. Currently it's using this lighten thing, and well, the multiply is not sacrificing too much. Include alpha of second. Oh, I got an idea. Yeah, but this could be. Now this will include alpha for. No, okay. It depends on what has alpha. So let's use this, and it's like cheating, right? So certain materials we might decide to not have workbench compositing, while others we might want to, but this could cause some, yeah, I'm already seeing that it could cause some incoherence in case we are using this hue, this stuff, this colorizing. So yeah, although, but it's good as a test. Anyways, let's keep the, I need to sort of try to negate this thing. The natural way would be baking every single texture, right? Okay, let's try this crazy thing. Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it's better than baking. So I'm gonna get I'm gonna get this indeed. Then we're gonna go to the shading. I need to check what we have as I have some material that this one, text invisible. All right, so I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna Control V here. I'm gonna select and if this is working, yeah, I'm not even sure it's working. Maybe I need to refresh it. Well, yeah, it is. Indeed, it's an alpha thing. And is it using? Okay, so then is it using this or this? This is confusing as hell. Looks like yeah, it is, because this is the background, folks. Okay, so I'm gonna save here. This is interesting. Let's see what will happen when I render this stuff. And I go to the compositor and then okay, so what I'm able to see here is that the okay, this okay, let's try, because there is this background. I think this is the workbench, so this is like I'll have to create this dangerous. So but if I don't do this, it's not here, right? It's the so I've made transparent. So why I'm not seeing the transparency in the world? What's happening? No, not theme, world, viewport. Yeah, world. What is world? Way to display the... Yeah, so this should need to be transparent. Viewport. Now this is a... Okay, world. So but not good, right? Let's also get here, and for the we don't want the EV to be transparent because it holds, otherwise I would have to make this into a, yeah, we could do that, and I make this background as a third render engine, which will be super more cumbersome, right? But I just want to check here if I can get, I think we can. So this workbench has transparency, but this doesn't get transparent, and then the workbench gets, no, it's either one or the other. Okay, so I have to do this manually here, so at least this can be transparent. And now I need to see if this black background is or is not. I don't need all that for the second. So now I need to assess let's get the character so we can visualize what's happening to other materials. Interesting. So apparently, despite the darkness, okay, this is doing nothing. I don't see change to the background, so it's like it's not being affected. So this is very interesting. So you see, because the background is being cool enough with the EV, the character with EV only is not good. Maybe some other materials not, but I'm making the procedural, right? So this technique allows me, apparently is allowing me to isolate the despite dual compositing, right? I'm able to set her to get content, the material influence from both EV and workbench render engines, and while the wall is not getting any contamination from workbench because it doesn't help. I'll have to bake, but I don't need to bake. So, and for some reason the transparency, it's not ruining my scene. So maybe I'm wrong, and this will be detrimental in other conditions. But so far this seems reliable. Otherwise, I'll be seeing through. I'll be seeing black, and then or transparent, and all the color, the whole color of the wall will have changed. This is not what is happening in the render, but it is clear that this is affecting the character. So you see, this is when we mix both. Okay, here we're seeing something for the wall, the multiply, but I'm using this works best for my latest finding, to have not EV being too dark. So, okay, this is alright. This is for just the stars, so we add the stars, and so you see, I can. So it's not about the character; it's about the materials, right? So whichever material that has the. So finally, I think I have found, for some reason, I was using this transparency thing, but for some reason now I don't know exactly what I'm doing, folks, but that is that is allowing this isolation. But possibly it's something related to this ad, which and or just related to the light, and instead of the I was using before multiply, and before even multiply I was just using a mix, actually not a mix but an equivalent. It's alpha over, which is works like a mix. It's either one or the other, and halfway it's like dividing, right? So here we can play with the compositor of the workbench, which is this. So I already see that I think this is transparent. It should be black, right? So actually, what is use alpha? Okay, we got use alpha. Yeah, using alpha. Hold on. Second input is this. Okay, so I don't see any difference here. So actually, let's do this instead. So for this switch, we see that so the default one, it's too dark, right? Is not good for this ad is interesting. So I still need to revise this thing, right? So I think this is because this is taking this is not a good place to visualize it, right? I was doing something like this, but for the ad it does not help. I was using yeah, so the star compositing, I need to revise this. It will be at the end, because whatever is pure black absolute, that this will be the idea. I need a better visualization here for that. This one should be pretty straightforward, right? But I don't like that this ad is affecting. It shouldn't be affecting anything there. Something is wrong about this here. So sorry folks, we got some problem with the Of course, because this is the EV, I'm not isolating the stars, right? So I need to build it from here, as I was doing this before. So this one gonna get, yeah, I should rebuild this setup here. So gonna bring the color just I don't know, let's try this one. Okay, then I bring this here. Yeah, we can do this, right? So this is like a isolator. Or black and white mask. I'd prefer that these things had two rows of names, so it will be easier to read, right? So this will be the FAQ for, or should be, right? And something is not working. Of course, this shouldn't be here. It should be here. This actually, I'm doing it wrongly, right? No, I'm confusing, mixing up. Where are the stars? They are the background. Now this is the background, right? And so, but how can I bring the? It's a mask to. Okay, the mask is working here, but let's get multiply then. Nope, not helping. This is this glare is affecting. Yeah, so there's a problem here. This is the original EV image, right? I want to take only the stars from this instead of from a different render layers. Isn't that some sort of pass for background? Yeah, I think that will be the ideal thing. Should be feasible, right? If you guys know environment. No, where? I have to search that, folks. So let's see here. Now let's also reset the soundtrack here. Let me share the screen here so you can see what's going on. Compositor, Blender compositor pass for background world. That's generated. In Blender there isn't a specific background, but you can achieve a similar effect by using the world nodes in output in the compositor. So you can isolate the background from the scene's main objects. Great, but how to do this? Here's a breakdown of how the world nodes output for background So isolate the background, create a separate view layer special. Okay, a separate view layer. Okay, in general, disable all collection except it's a view layer. Ah, I see. It's just a view layer. Except one containing the camera or your scene's background elements. Okay, not this, I just need the camera. Okay, makes sense. You can also use the only contributes indirectly filter to further isolate the background. Where is this? Render with the background view layer. Okay, I got this. Forgot that this thing could be used in this way. Yeah, so rename a new layer. Okay, I don't use this technique too much, but it seems that will be the case. So I'm gonna render layers, then it's EV, but here we need, you see, it's view layer. I just have one, but the idea would be to have a new one. So I'm gonna add a new one. So this is like, okay, copy settings. So this will be background. And what we do here is that we will, I can also do this for the other insert. Maybe there are some things we could do if required, but for now, so for this one, wait, blank. Okay, it starts blank, so background. And just the camera, right? So then it's just a view layer. Then we go back here, then we maybe there's something about this that works, that let's see. Yeah, nothing of interest here. Just as you see, it's just the space as I wanted. Let's see if the camera does really exist here. Yes, it is here. Should be in the same position. This is the same scene. We are back here, then we go to compositor, then we wait. Okay, this is correct. Why everything is all dark like that? Okay, because this is not good. Yeah. Okay, let's bring this to the yeah, maybe I need to do that. Yeah, this is sort of stupid, but this sounds like what. that sounds like what it works, right? Easier to... Right, then... Yeah, this, we cannot do this, right? Then go back to compositor, then here we just change here and background, and let's see what we get. We get nothing. Why don't we get anything? Ah, maybe okay, it's a new render layer, so maybe I need to render it. Let's save. Yeah, here it is. So this is the... Okay, render layers. No, so... Alright, now that I have this, that means that I can ignore this system here, I guess. No, I need the mask. Maybe I don't need, hold on. So just gonna disconnect. Yeah, no, I'm gonna dismantle this. This will go straight to here, and there we go. Glare and not glare. To glare. Wait. Okay, to glare and not to glare. It's very subtle, but it's good. We can augment that. I think this is not for here. Oh yeah, no, this is... Let's change this to... Yes, better. that was much better. So I get this one, then okay, to glare, not to glare, to glare. Then I want to now see what, yeah, this is certainly not a multiply now. So if I get this thing, we get this, but I need just to add. I'm gonna change to, and of course this goes crazy, so this is where we need probably to, cannot just add this in, right, this doesn't work. Oh, this pack is useless, right? So here they are adding and becoming, we need something different here, like yeah, no, this is certainly not the way to go. Yeah, I need the mask, right? Yeah, of course, yeah, it's not like that. We need the mask, so we need still this. So we're gonna just pick this thing and this is dangerous. Apply ambient occlusion to everything. No, but that's fine, because I'm gonna, after I'm gonna isolate these things anyways. So here, so here is where I need this and add and no, multiply. No, and then okay, we starting to get it, but no, maybe I've inverted them. Hold on, it's the opposite, right? No. Alright, so invert anyways. No, okay, it's not this, so it's not the invert. Mix, no, it's not mixing. Yeah, this is going crazy. I need to, don't want to be wasting time with this. It took me a long while to get used to this system of those nodes, and still I got problem. Okay, so one is maximum and dark is 0, so that means that the 0 is I just don't know which one to use exactly. This is one of the complicator factors. Okay, so if I invert now, nothing good is happening. Okay, I got the thing, but I'm not getting the other part now for... It's behind, right? This is doing nothing, strangely. I had figured this out before, it's just now that... No, these are entirely dark. They are being composited. So maybe something here is... Maybe my problem here is another one. Maybe I'm doing things right, I just need to fix something here. Okay, view layers, background. Okay, here so far it's... no. Yeah, so there's one little problem, is that this is taking the background again with itself. So I'm afraid it could be doubling the background. This ambient occlusion, it's going here, but it's also going here. So no, this has nothing to do. The problem is this mask. Strange. Oh, okay. It was usually used like that, but let's see. First the background, then the... yeah, but then we get everything dark for some strange reason here. Okay, so this EV is doing something. as I expected. I need to separate this already from here. Yeah. Okay, this is a very puzzling. Should be easier, I think. Why it needs to be that complicated, but at least now. Okay, we check here. Can we? Okay, we are able to make some compositing here, so this is so now the glass is not, yeah, I know why the glass is not working. I think I know. Because this material now it has an invisible, it's just not working. Yeah, so white is being... Oh, I understand why. It's because of the compositor. Yeah, the compositor is affecting the... Exactly. This is affecting the sky, right? It should be looking like this actually, but actually it's getting even through here. This is what's happening. Then some more things happening here, so I shouldn't be I want to see it, but I don't want to compose it from here, so I need to mask it already from here. I need a mask for this already here, just as I did here. No, I mean this thing. Can we connect something backwards? Like, it's weird, but maybe it's the case. It will be like bringing this as a mask to... Yeah, so like, let's see. Yeah, it was a mix like this one. Don't understand why it's mix if I'm getting... No, this is wrong. Okay, let's ignore this. Since I have the view layers here, I cannot take off the shading. Where is, okay, world shading, EV, yeah, it's just this. So I cannot apparently isolate this from the material itself. I need to take it off from this view layer. Transparent view layer, maybe. Should be from here, right? What does this do? Derive alpha blended surface in a Alright, so I don't think this will work because this can only be one. It doesn't apply to view layer. Yeah, it is generic, so unfortunately, so it cannot have this transparent here, but I could have here. I can have, so if I can make, if this can relate to the background in some ways, then yes. The reason why I don't want to get it into the background in an entire different scene is that I wouldn't be able to visualize it in real time, so it is frustrating. But then I don't have transparency here. It's fucked up, right? Or this. Like, yeah, if I did this, then, and now I seriously don't know what this transparent thing. Yeah, so, oops. So I'll have to, in order to have access to this, I need to make some investigation further. Okay, so this is destroying the so this strategy here is not working because it's doubling the thing, right? I'll leave it here because it can still be maybe it can be helped. Let's use the second. Now the second is doing this to the didn't change anything here, so this changing of location shouldn't have affected the lighting. Oh, this is, of course, this was a mistake. Alright, I'll go back here. Alright, so why this EV is doing this crazy, this bad result? Okay, this is fucking up the sky again. This multiply with ambient occlusion. Ah, if I could apply this ambient occlusion somewhere else, or maybe I could totally avoid it. Let's see. Maybe it's not necessary, because if I combine with the workbench, there is, yeah, we can see. Maybe it's not necessary. We'll see. Let's try to, yeah, what I'm going to do is that I'm gonna bring this directly there. Glare, let's get this back. Is this correct? Yeah, of course, it's not. Okay, I need this for the mask still, so. There, okay. Unfortunately, this dual compositing we can't see in real time. I see. Yeah, this is. I think I need to re-render stuff because. So mix for some reason seems to be the most. So the mix is not. Of course, the mask will determine. Yeah, so that's what the mask is doing. Mask is doing that. If it's black, it's the first. If it's white, is the other. So yeah, so totally need the mask here. Yeah, so I'm getting back to basic understanding, making peace with the logic here finally. And despite there's some aspect here that don't look good, this can be compromising on more advanced setups, but oh yeah, we could add after. Let's see. Alt J. Yeah, I've added the Kuahara after the glow. I think it's not. No, it destroys the glow. No, we're not gonna do that. So just Control V this. Okay, let's try again the ambient occlusion. Oh yeah, it's good. This is not. It's not compromising, not this time. So this is accurate. We can keep, though. Yeah, but the problem is that when we, it's bad for real time. Yeah, that's Well, this is bad too, right? We can just deactivate here. Certainly this is not optimal for the workflow. It's that it's an incomplete compositing, right? So we'll see some pass, everything here, but then this thing will not occur, and that's why everything becomes dark. One of the reasons, of course. But that doesn't mean that the compositing will be bad. It will just mean that we'll need to visual assess thing not with the certain things we just better not, because this is incomplete compositing, right? So they'll be in the end closer to this, I guess, depending on the case, right? If I find a better setup for all this, of course I'll be using, but I can't get those things to work entirely yet. Okay, so we got a stone wall material, and that is good. Let's go back here and let's take some. Let's see the notes here. That so we got. No, what is happening here? Wall stone, so sort of a lime. Yeah, so I got that. Then metal, stone plate is materials dirty. Okay, this is space landscape. Okay, this is later. Yeah, we are cleaning up this more. This is modeling. Yeah, maybe we should organize instead in a something like this. Modeling, texturing, shading, anything else after? This is modeling. Well, partially, right? But it starts from modeling. At least even the galaxy in some sense, unless you use some, yeah, probably starts on modeling. Okay, I'm thinking here, what is there anything else I can do today, because today was more of, yeah, made some progress here in the materials of this struggle with the compositor, so there's also cleaning up of those. Okay, we can try this one. Yeah, let's retake this. Yeah, there'll be a metallic concrete. Yeah, let's make a concrete stuff instead of metal. I have this we're gonna It is good for those so yeah, this one it's still good, but maybe take this off and we're gonna just concrete. Okay, we need to go on shading. No, before going on shading, we need to make a duplicate material for that. So we're gonna, can we copy paste this? No. Patch. Zero, one. So we're gonna get it as a duplicate. We're gonna call it wall concrete, and assign. Something got lost here in this process, but I think it's about the UVs. No, we're gonna find out. Object. So here is the no, it is showing up. All right. So the concrete is a noisier thing, right? So I get it's some metallicness, and so we're gonna get the okay, the Voronoi texture is nice, but we're gonna get everything some more grayish material. So yeah, it has some combination of colors of all kinds. and we need to give this stuff let's try this distance to edge. No, this is not really helping. Okay, this Euclidean is too square. Manhattan is more interesting here. Pxy-VERSE even, I think even more. And mean, yeah, Pxy-VERSE seems fine. We can also distort this in other ways. Roughness, lacunarity, don't see much results from this. A lot of randomization. Then what about this stuff? This is just location, rotations. This won't distort them. Scale will distort. Yeah, that is good. Yeah, so now can feel free to. So just one scale is enough. Maybe on the x-axis is good. I'm satisfied with something like that. But let's try object. Object is not. Yeah, the UVs are more interesting, right? We can get some. If we rearrange this UV in some way, right? Yeah, it grants some variations, right? But the solidify here is a nightmare. So certain procedural things won't really do well here. Normal, no. Generated, too boring. This could be another material of its own, right? A variation, right? So definitely we don't want those ones, right? It's too breaking of the composition. It's not meaningful enough in this particular case. Then let's see. Yes, we have. Can we reset this? Yeah, actually this was doing some. Now this looks like a granite. No, so gonna reuse some of these settings. Then we got reduce a little. Yeah, we'll leave like this. And then what is the diffuse? There is some diffuse. Diffuse is good, isn't it? And sure, we could also plug mid like yeah, no, these maps are, unless we did some more work, we could use some bump, but again this is will be for my project here. I'm satisfied with this more basic stuff for now. Only on certain no, actually, hold on. This one wouldn't be better to be a diffuse. Yeah, there's not big difference right now. If I could noise this the scale, that would be nice, right? Here it doesn't really matter, I guess. Let's see. Fac don't seem to be working. Yeah, not being able to affect this. I'll be more like a color mix thing, right? Something like mix color node. Multiply, I don't know, and plug this here and then this here. No, not multiply. Mix maybe. No, it's not mix also. It will be no, it's not nothing like that. No. It's really something more to the base that I want. I'd like to turn this. I think. Oh yeah, wait. Maybe I can. Is this feasible? Getting this back as a vector sounds like possible, but then can I? No, nothing is working. So another way, then perhaps there's another which is wave texture, which I I was able to do this in in this material for some reason that it's unclear to me. So what is the reason? Wave color vector. Because the brick texture has got a vector. Okay, now I've broken the material, or not. Yeah, it's because some materials are special, so okay, so the Voronoi has vector, so the idea would be to bring here then, or maybe here, change the scale. There we go. Okay, so we can scale, we can yeah, so in principle we don't need this anymore. Let's hold on, keep this. We are noising this stuff, which gets these patterns, but that distortion is too much, right? Yeah, this is a little better. Yeah, here we start to see the yeah, scale 1 is like it's just starting to get some yeah, and we want to the UVs and try to, it's too bright for some reason. Let's mute this. Of course, we need the principle. Of course, there we go. So now we need to just try to get these UVs, not try to find a pattern here that is just a little more harmonious. Oh, we can also have play with this. All right, multifractal. Ridged. Hybrid multifractal. Maybe I'll keep this one. And yeah, this was the one we're using. Heteroterrain. Now, so hybrid or just hybrid. So I have some anomalies which are interesting to have. And yeah, there we go. This is our, and for this stuff we're gonna finally, I think there's no way to, with geometry nodes I think we can improve this, but for me, well, if that's true we can try, right? This one is just for here, so we're gonna delete this stuff. Yeah, everything has boolean here, so keep the boolean, but here let's, yeah, just apply the solidify, and let's also do this again. We'll have to change the, let's isolate the object. We can, yeah, mistake here, gonna add a mirror along y-axis, right? Clipping. Okay, it's x-axis. There we go. It's just dark because there's no light, but it is here. Alright, so we need to, we can also play with texture here, but why this procedural texture won't show here? Okay. We need to, I think, just get these face loops here, and I'm gonna UV them differently. No, what I'm doing, it's wrong way. It's this, no, it's this, and this and this. Smart UV project. Kind of works. Yeah, there's some variation. That's nice. Okay. That is sufficient. Otherwise, I'll just, well, we can still check here. What is this weird face? Okay, those are the original ones, so let's just leave it like that. Yeah. So we got a concrete second material. So this is combining well, I think. Not looking super sci-fi-ish, but start to look some modernish at least. So here we're gonna get the, hold on, let's get back some. This creepy pubs. Alright, here we got the, yeah, we need to bring this, wow, concrete, yeah, it's a stone thing, but at some point this is better. Let's get at least the qualification as a wall, right? We're gonna bring this mark as asset. There we go. There will be a metal door to implement, and already this, I see how this material here is not good. We're gonna make the door based on this one. Yes, so we can get just these faces. Shift D, P, selection. Gonna, are making in the wrong position. No, it is okay. Where is this in the timeline? No. Here. All right. So, what kind of place is this? Okay, it's already parent of here. That's fine. So we're gonna. We're gonna want this as a metal. So first we can scale along the y-axis following the grid. So that seems good enough for massive enough, right? So we're gonna extrude along normals. Why can't we do this? Okay, so apparently we will have to do a trick here. Okay, so you can already imagine that I'm doing this so that I can build some interesting patterns already from this this thing, and I'm gonna save here. It could be a glass, right in. Looks like we got some mistakes for the. Oh yeah, they were. Yeah, this it's not terrible, but it's not what I wanted. I think it's. I'm gonna have to delete this again. So yeah, so there's it should be just extrude along normals, right? Scale, they are scaling. Okay, now this is good. Global. Where's the reference of the character? Okay, I have another reference here. It's like a door with a window, because that exists. Why not? could have a balcony involved in this. Okay, this is nice. Now we're gonna extrude this out. Because maybe there'll be some clipping. So it's a backup for later. Because right now I'm not sure what this will become entirely. So here we're gonna, maybe I can make this, and for now gonna make a face here, and we're just gonna, yeah, because I'm not here for modeling, so I'm gonna just get the inner glass space, which of course is ridiculous. It's not. I'm gonna get the glass simple, which should have transparency, so that's not working. So we're gonna get, I just need a transparent material I don't have now, so let's use the okay, let's leave this for now. It's different than the other. We need to get now this as the metal, so I'm gonna reuse this one, and as you can see this is not an asset, so gonna get metal what? Metal wall. Okay, wall metal. 01. And we're gonna assess what it is. So we can, yes, we can mark as an asset to start with, and we're going to see what it is about. I forgot something about my concrete thing here, which is that also let's get these newly created materials for this scene. Let's try to bring them to the top, so here I have something to do with this one. I just want to pick this one. We're gonna bring this also to the concrete, because just to be sure, because I don't know how it will compose yet, so by default I'm assuming it won't be combined well for Workbench, since it is procedural, and it's gonna be kept procedural if I can. This will be procedural as well, so we bring this as well. So now let's see what we got here. We got some Voronoi. Okay, makes sense. With some bluish color, which okay also makes sense. And then you have a diffuse for a metal thing. No, I don't think a diffuse is the best here. What about glossy? I don't think it will. Well, it had some features here that, but it's too realistic. So let's get the principal BSDF. I think it's the best for what I'm trying to do here. So we can get metallicness, we can augment roughness. This could be a more, yeah, why not, right? So it will have, it will have some degree of metallic reflections, but it will be somewhat soft. I really don't, and here this is more about the material, crystallography and stuff like that, refraction, and I'm not using yeah, there are some effects there. Now this will happen indistinguishably of the okay, then maybe we can do this. Yeah, then we got here this Voronoi is UV. Yeah, we want to if I want that shapes, those shapes, I need to keep some of this stuff, so that's fine. We still get the diagonal thing, I guess, or is this an illusion? I don't think it's an illusion, so I think it's messed up, but it works. And, okay, so I got this one. Okay, this is organized, but this is too dark now. We're not getting too much interest from the current setup. Ah, this is more likely. Okay, so generated. Ah, there's an advantage here because the UVs will be symmetrized while the generated yeah, the object even might be more interesting, but I don't want to prevent these colors to be too messed up. We're gonna get maybe just a gamma, who knows. It's getting things paler. Actually, I need instead brightness. Yeah. No, let's not do that. Let's skip this. It's too blocky, yes. So this is, I want something smoother, right? Maximize randomness. Okay, but this Euclidean, let's see, what is this? Yeah, this is nice. No, I don't know how to use this one. So smooth. This seems a great combination. Let's just check some others. This one, yeah, Minkowski here seems nice because it looks like some more checker, but very, very distorted. But there are some patterns that there is crystallography for metals. They can be sort of organized. Yeah, so you can have nice. Here I'm gonna delete this one and yeah, I think this is looking fine. And then I get maybe what about this cardinal is B-spline, no, constant, nah. So it's like cardinal seems to be smooth enough, and B-spline is the smoothest, but no, cardinal something in between. Very subtle variation. So here you can augment the brightness and no, we don't want this. So just augment the default contrast, yeah, augment a little, so get a little more colorful stuff. So this sounds to be a good metallic material. And then what if we do this? No, it sort of kills the texture, right? So we want just a little of this. And roughness, no, we don't want this super reflective, but yeah, some amount of blurry and then there is the question of the latest the material here for the viewport, which affect, yeah, but it affects if, so yeah, what I could do here is like I can pick, for example, this one, place it here, copy this value here, and roughness here, but this is won't affect, I think, because I'm already using for Workbench this one. So this is just get it. It's the only image texture here, so this will be applied to. It's how this thing works, right? Maybe this metal is being a bit too bright for the composition here, so not a problem. We can this is a little better. The concrete thing could be better in some aspect that I'm not. Yeah, best if it has bump. You know what? Maybe it's not that heavy to have this stuff. So what we need for this is the height. So we need a bump map. This can serve as a bump map already. But it gets a bit too, it's too strong maybe. We'll need to edit this thing with some sort of color ramp. No. Okay, so we see that it has some bumpiness. It's sort of a bit chaotic. You need to control this stuff. It's too reflective, although roughness of diffuse, I don't know. Yeah, there's some sparkles here and there when I move the camera. Let's see. Yeah, it gives some vitality to it, but it seems too exaggerated. They are too small. So maybe it's just a question of reducing the strength, and here is controlled by the height, so this I don't know what it is. Filter. Yeah, reset this. I have one that worked for some Rocky, and it was much easier to do than this one, so it was some time ago. Alright, let's skip this one then, and let's move on, right? Oh yeah, this thing we could have some already for this asset. We can yeah, so I see what I can do with this one. So we can symmetrize it in this sense here. There. And so this will make everything easier here. For instance, we can make some structures here for some bad subdivisions. Okay, can't go procedural here. Okay, let's subdivide exactly here then. Exactly in half, that still works. We could bevel this, no? Well, now it's time to go crazy, right, on the creative aspects, or not. That's not too bad, right? Just make sure that we get these assets all around. Then extrude like here. too much, right? Too much extruded. Still seems too much. Okay, now it's fine, and then I imagine that we could make lights out directly out of this, or I thought first inside here, right? Wait, we can have bevel here. No, doesn't work. No, doesn't work. This middle is for the door, right? So okay, so let's try this, and this is nice. And then we scale like this, fine. Individual origins, yes, it is doing, but it's not doing what I... Seems locked to some planes, but it might have worked. So from this we go back, and here I get some lamp effects, which of course this is too much, right? We have others. So here we can play with this, right? What is lamp, what is not, so we can, maybe this can be... This dark metals, yeah, we can have lamps there, and there's also a possibility that could make even more details, but I don't want to be polluting this as of yet. So we can just... This was another option, maybe we can get lamps here. Right, so this is also easier to swap. Also, let's reset those ones, and this is not what I wanted. I have another asset like this that is better. 02, yeah, no, this is not the style here. We could have glass there, but that's not too small. We have these wires, these crazy lamps. These are nicer. This fit better, I think. Something is happening that in EV now this thing seems to have some effect in... No, I don't think they create, but they reflect, right? So this is something. I think this was... I'm not sure if this existed before. Okay, what is this brightness there? I'm unsure, and this is an annotation we don't need. Alright, so we made a concrete material, we made a metal. It's already assigned to the library. Where is the metal? Wall metal. Okay, wall metal. Wall concrete. Is wall metal. Alright. And there's the wall rocky. The wall rocky. Now this is wall schist. Let's say it like that. Only this inner thing there. But I forget this one. Is metal now too ugly? What about if we get this as material pipes? No, this is not for this. So it's still schist. This is interesting, but I think it's like the block. Ah, that's an interesting combination. It's like the rock inside the rock, right? I like this one. So we're gonna try to project this, however, in a way that this will be tough because I don't have the... This was made for a certain orientation, so I can't... Yeah, it would be like this sort of, but it could be fake, right? There, the bottom is fake, so this is difficult. Or I could try to... Yeah, never mind. Let's give it the... Or this... What is this metal patch? There's another one. Okay, this... No, it's too bad. So... Let's get back to the... Yeah, I got something of interest here. So this is from another... Give some sci-fi vibe. Rotate 90 degrees. UV, minimum stretch. They seem a bit chaotic though. This was coming from the corridor, right? Yeah, they are not aligned. Let's try Smart UV project. we can get along with something like that, I guess.
Suas músicas favoritas em segundo plano. Enquanto você limpa essa bagunça aí, né? No primeiro plano.
Try to align this here. Alright, this worked. That's very good. Although this material I have to revise, right? So it can conform to the rest. And there's question for this emission shaders if I need, yeah, maybe I need some, yeah, there's some errors here. If I need some spotlights or some point lights for the, because EV. Alright folks, so this is it for today. Tomorrow we'll be back for more. Hope this was enjoyable or interesting. We're getting good with this. Are plenty of assets, yes, but the materials, let's say that, where's my, no, this is not the layout here. Let's see what we have done. Then we get a wall concrete, metal tones, got one metal, okay. Metal door, let's say, and we might need to, yeah, so we need to improve the metal dark tones. We are get that, and plastic tones, here, yes, and all this, many of these are for characters. Separation of each scene, each Blender file will have unique materials, so I stopped getting those duplicate, crazy duplicate cloned assets. Yeah, that will be, it's okay if the object is linked, but if it's appended and you relink, no, not relink, and you then assetize it, then it turns back to the, so this is very dangerous. So this is why you need a lot of organization currently, at least. Maybe, probably Blender should improve this over time, but it will take a lot until more users get to, oh, by the way, let me show a good workflow. I'm gonna make a highlight even. I found a workaround for one problem I was having. Also, let's get this and assign stuff. I got this one. We got, yeah, let's make a highlight here, but I must make sure save as, save copy. I don't remember which was the, it doesn't matter. Whichever works for you. Well, no, I'm gonna get this idea better later, so I'm not gonna record. So just what I found is that I was saving incremental on these files, and whenever we do this, then of course this is saved in this, and this is inside my asset library system, not of Blender, of the operational system. And that means that those iterations You see there are the numbers, but I finally took everything off outside of here, so but I'm still having some duplicates, but for another reason then, because many materials here are repeated. They exist. And this is why each file needs to contain its own, right? Sometimes I'm reusing materials, not from linking, but like just really duplicates, so then they get reassetized because they are assets, or they come with the object altogether. So it's crazy. I need to reorganize that. But then what I was when we save incremental, of course it will save exactly here where the file is, and the file need to be in the folder so that it will be directly linked to the asset library. But if we keep saving incremental, we have this problem. Automatically we'll be having to reposition those files every time over and over again to older work in progress folder outside of everything. So instead, what I found out, so if I want to save an incremental here, what I can do is I'm gonna save, instead of an incremental like this, I'm gonna save a backup. So I'll continue working on this, but I'm gonna save a backup. So I think it can be save as or save copy. So, but then I've created this. So I get out of here. I click here so I can add this. So for example, new scene 5 whip external save as. Okay, so I was using save as. And so I go here, but yeah, it will be this one. So you just add here. Once you are in the folder, then just add here. It's already there, so take off, add. So it's here. And then what I need to do is that I can rename here, but it's the same name of this. And so here is one iteration. So I'm gonna save another iteration here, but manually. Save as here. It's not gonna override. And yeah, but now I'm on the 02, which I don't want. So I'm gonna let's go back to scene modular corridor dark. Alright, so I'm not accumulating files in the thing. Let's try the save copy. Let's save that. Okay, so it's still, this is the folder I'm working in right now on the original file. Let's go here and save over right here. Okay. And okay, so it is wrong. I was doing save copy. Alright, so we're gonna just rename this save copy. And so I'm gonna take okay, I can't access this for some reason. Seems like glitched, right? Because I think there's a refresh. Yeah, that's it. So here, I got it wrong even. It's this one and this one. You can okay. So it's save copy, and so I'm still in the same file. So when I save it, this is just the original, and it stay unique. So save copy, save your life, save my life at least now that I know this. Gonna keep using it It's not as practical as save incremental, but it will prevent errors in the workflow. Thanks for watching, folks. Have a nice weekend and happy blendering for you too. See you soon.